That was crazy though, and I believe that was the owner of the store, and he definitely has a right to protect his business. We see this all the time. Somebody come in there, from the urban culture, thinking they gonna get a quick come up. People got stuff. Owners got stuff planned in place. They might got the shotgun close by. They might got something up under the counter where they can alert, authorities to say they business when they getting robbed. It happens all the time. But in this situation, I don't really think he was even uh concerned with the uh with the owner. It was between him and the main man. So, he definitely got caught off guard with that one.
I'm sick and tired of seeing shit like this, to be honest with you. Because when I watched it initially, my first thoughts was, here we go again, more black on black. Meanwhile, our country is being ran into the ground. Our water is getting distorted. Our food is getting poisoned. The children are continuously coming up missing. And these dudes is still going out here at the age of 30 and up, acting like this is the wild, wild west. At what age do you grow out of that childish mentality? Do you break that habit? So there's a couple of things that people were pissed off about with this. For me, I'm black fatigued. I'm exhausted from seeing the shit. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people have mixed reactions. Some folks are pissed off because they think that the guy with the fake gun, when he lost his life, it was due to overkill. But there's a lot of people who are saying, well, it was justified. And quite frankly, to me, it was very justified. We just got to the point to where nobody can handle their emotions anymore. Like, niggas is just gonna be niggas, man. I'm just gonna say it like that. Niggas are just gonna be niggas. We're not talking about black men. We're talking about niggas, the ones who will forever live according to the street code ideology. All they know how to do is respond and react off of emotion, off of movies and TV, and off of violence. There's no other way or form of resolution for them. And you lost your life with a fucking cap gun, my nigga. So you get into it with a dude, you pull the joint out, and it ain't even real. but it was already bad enough that you even had to go there. The guy that you was arguing with wasn't even showing or brandishing any type of weapon at all. It was a heated argument between you and the other person, but it took you to pull your weapon out to get your point across that you're a tough guy. That's the only way you know how to express yourself in that moment. Oh, it's a lot that I can say about it, but I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to touch on also, it was an argument, but I don't even know what the hell they was arguing about, to be honest. Um, that's one thing, and then the other thing is, it was between those two. Wasn't no robbery or nothing like that, but they were arguing, and then like you said, he pulled his gun out. Um, the sad part is, like you stated, it was a damn cap gun. That's that's embarrassing, for one. Um, Cap guns was something that, maybe teenagers would use to rob a store or something like that. They would probably use a fake gun or whatever like that. This man he's a grown man, and will supposedly be a grown man, and in a situation like that, when you pulled it out when you was in the argument, I guess you was trying to scare the person to make them stop talking to you. However the argument was going, I guess that was the point there. But you got to be you got to be aware of your own surroundings, and I don't think the brother was aware of his own surroundings at all. You know, because if he really was, he would have been peeping. It's other people in the store. Now, yeah, he had the argument with my man, but you know, when you pull that gun out, fake or not, because it was fake or not, you change the landscape of a situation when you do that. Because yeah, you might be arguing with my man, but you're a threat to everybody that's in that damn store. Cause yeah, just because y'all was arguing, that could have went a lot of ways. He could have probably just said, fuck it, man. I just start busting him, and he probably ain't know how to aim. It's a lot of YNs out here don't know how to aim. It's a cool thing to have a weapon these days when you're a YN. It's cool, you know. Um, and you don't even know how to aim, and you're not really for that, about that life for real, for real. You just imitating, what you see on TV, you know what I'm saying? Internet gangster, whatever you want to put on it. But when you get to the real, when you get to the real deal spill, the meat and potatoes of the situation, that man that pulled that real gun out that was in that store, he felt like he was threatened when he pulled that damn gun out. That's what happened. Now, yeah, your intentions probably wasn't to hit him, but he was in his proximity, and he was around everybody that was, in that store. So that changes everything. So in his nature, the guy, the owner, whatever, he pulls a gun out for protection. Now, going back to what you said on the actual shots itself, was it an overkill? You goddamn right that was an overkill. You don't shoot nobody that many times, my dude. You don't do that. And another thing, he didn't have a problem with him. So yeah, you shot him, um, because you felt threatened. because he pulled the gun out. I give you that. But at the point of following him continuously to shoot him, yeah, I think that was a bit damn much. He shouldn't have did it like that way. And if the guy was aiming to kill him, then I would understand the rest of the shots. But just for his safety, he shot him through that door. He shot him out that door for his safety because he was right there holding the gun, even though it was a fake one. You got it.
Chef said something that I was thinking about, and I think it's bigger than just this store situation, right? Because I don't want to say you got a severe diagnosis, but it does speak a lot to a person's mental state. Like, are you really all together, my guy? Half the people that are in prison, they had educations. A lot of them probably were good in school, and I'm not saying all of them were, but a lot of these folks were collegiate bound. A lot of them had the promise to be something extraordinary with high IQs. But the one thing that got them screwed over was their inability to regulate their emotions. Now, does that mean that they have a mental issue? Not necessarily. To me, a lot of this shit got something to do with how you were programmed. But the sad truth is, a lot of us don't really know if we have those type of issues either. We don't take therapy. We don't sit underneath a CAT scan or in a doctor's office and have these people telling us whether or not we need to pop pills or if we need to really sit down on the couch with somebody and talk about everything that happened to us when we were younger and growing up to kind of unpack all of this shit. Because why is it that we keep seeing this temperament over and over and over again? Now, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't overkill to me. And the reason why I say the shit is because if I'm the store owner or I'm that officer, all I know is you pulled a gun out. That's all I know. So as far as I'm concerned, once you pull the gun out and you hold it up in any type of direction where it looks like you, I'm not about to sit up here and give you the chance to let off nothing. But the thing that really bothered me the most about it wasn't the fact that he shot at him excessively. It was the fact that when he was leaving out the store, it wasn't like this nigga was walking backwards, had the gun up, and was firing it. He was leaving out. He had his back turned. Then he was leaving out, and the guy followed out after him. To be honest with you, I think that could have been handled differently. But like that's one of them things where you really don't know what could happen in a split second because he could have left outside the store and start shooting in the store, but that don't seem to make a lot of sense to me. It seemed like him and the dude got into it. It doesn't really appear like it was really worth anything. Y'all niggas be ready to crash out over words. His manhood got checked. He felt some type of way. He threatened him, but it didn't escalate. He left, and then the guy followed after him. So on one hand, I'm like, yeah, he was wrong for pulling the gun out in the store, but he left the store. So did he really need to shoot that man when he left the store? He could have locked the store down, locked everybody that was left in there. I don't know. This is just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been handled a lot of ways, but my only point is what made it an overkill is like you said, the man ain't have to follow him with the jump, shooting him. You already hit him a few times at the door, is what I saw. And I mean, at that point, um, he should known that as he went out, that what I'm saying, come on, if the gun was real, what I'm saying, shots would have went back. Now how many times that owner, he might even had a gun in the store or whatever to protect his business, but he not fucking stupid though. They not gonna sit there and test their metal against somebody, two or three people with guns coming in there robbing, or a dude that got a real junk. They not gonna pull that motherfucker out. Now, let's just say the gun was real. All right. Yeah, he might have been in an argument with Cuz, but I don't think the motherfucker would have tried that if it was real, because he first of all, he already got his joint drawn. You gotta pull yours out. Let's just say he said, you know what, I'm tired of you saying this bullshit to me, pulled it out, cocked it back, and put it to his head. You think that owner would have tried that shit at that point? If he locked and loaded and put it to his head, he would have looked at that as like, man, that's real. You know, I don't know. If he'll do him, I know he gonna do me. So I'm just saying the situation went the way it went, but it's been situations where the owner thought twice about pulling that damn gun out, because you was close right there. If it was real, let's just say he shot him and he failed. He was the next target. If you feel me, he's right there. You would have went to the ground too, my nigga. Like you wouldn't have wanted to pull that gun out. You know what I'm saying? He had an opportunity. The dude wasn't mad aggressive with the gun. He was talking trash, but he didn't have a gun to the point where I shoot everybody in this store. Dude took that as an opportunity. He pulled his out, popped him a few times out the door, and then walked up on him and finished, and he kept going. And at that point, if you get shot and he walking out the door, wouldn't you retaliate if somebody shoots you and your gun was real? Shots would have went back and forth. That yeah. So that was uncalled for. You already done shot him. That's how I look at it. But going back to the mental health, because I see your man touched on mental health. Is definitely a mental health situation. But what I wanna enlighten people with that temperament, because you made a good point with the temperament of black males these days, black men, is most. I'm not saying all, but most black men today was raised in single parent households. We covered this many times, and most of the time, a boy is raised by his mom. Most of the time, and when that happens, you know, he kind of growing up emulating all her characteristics, her movements, and the emotional uh OC out of control mentality behavior. And see, let this be a lesson because in the situation with that video we just watched, I don't think if the sex was different, let's just say the dude was a woman, do you honestly think that that owner would have shot a female that many times for spazzing out or crashing out or however you want to put it? I don't feel like that owner would have felt as threatened as it was because he was a man. And that's what guys got to understand. You might got all this, emotional immaturity up in you, but when you a grown ass man and you was a little boy and then you become a grown ass man, the world don't look at it like that. They don't. The real world don't give a fuck about what happened to you. They gonna protect them, and they gonna treat you like you supposed to have the qualifications as a man and have the control and all that of your emotions. And if you don't have that under control, you're gonna find yourself in a real life situation like that video, and you're gonna lose your life. You got it.
I kind of got to side with you and Chef on one part, and that's where it would seem like this man just needed a reason to shoot him, a black man, and he was given the opportunity, like it just fell in his lap. That's what it's coming off like. You try being a gas station owner or a 7-Eleven owner, and niggas just keep robbing your store, or someone just keep coming into your shit and breaking stuff, and you got all of these issues that always seem to surround this specific group of people. You might be on edge too. Like I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but in the same breath, it's like this white man just shot down this black guy with his back turned. And if you are actually a cop, SM, what's up? If you're actually a cop, then you're supposed to know how to at least wound the person to the point to where they don't have no ability to fire back or had a chance to do that. You seem to have gone above and beyond just putting them down just until the cops arrive. But do you put yourself in? Matter of fact, I asked this question: is this a situation based on what y'all saw? Is this a situation where if you were in that position, you the store owner or you're um a civilian in there, you have a licensed weapon, you see this scenario play out, how do you respond? Do you look at this like it was a threat or opportunity and an excuse to use your weapon? Like how do you move forward with that with a clean conscience, by the way? Because anybody who wants to protect the people that's in their store, you want to do it to where you know without a shadow of a doubt that this had to be done. Nobody wants to just shoot and injure someone. Not no sane, rational person.
And the sad part about it, the dude with the fake gun, he probably when he did that in that man's shit like that, in that man's store, he probably didn't even look at him like, he was a threat. He shot that man clearly out of scarcity. It was blatant. If you look at the video, that was straight scarcity. I'm scared. But like I keep saying, the man the owner that did it, would have had the same energy if he was just coming directly at him with the jump. You see what I'm saying? It's a different story. It's a lot of owners. Yeah, they might have shotguns, guns, or whatever at the register, but how many motherfuckers gonna really use it if you know all these people coming in there to get your store and they all packing? You're not gonna do that shit. You're not gonna take your weapon out like he did and try your hand. You're gonna die. That they think about shit like that. There's been a lot of times where they get jacked by multiple people and they know this real. They take whatever they want. They scared. They'll probably try to call the police or something first. It's just them. You see what I'm saying? So they'll take that robbery first. Now after they leave the store, then yeah, you probably want to retaliate, but you ain't gonna do it in the act. You see what I'm saying? Because this is a direct hit at you. See, it's different in this situation because he took advantage of the argument. Now, you being the owner of the store, only thing I can say is, man, y'all gotta take that shit out my store. You know what I'm saying? Draw it and y'all take that shit out my store. Y'all not doing that in here because it ain't had nothing to do with the owner. But my only thing is if it was a direct shot at that owner, he wouldn't have drew that damn gun out. He shot that man that many times because he was scared. He was scared, bro. That's scarcity. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. That man was scared as shit, and it ain't had nothing to do with him. He's scared of that culture. You feel me? We're gonna keep it a whole bean on here. That man was scared of that culture. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was my man with the fake gun, the dude he was arguing with, he ain't trust none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? This dude, any one of them could have pulled it. Like like he pulled his out, his fake. He looking at it like, damn, wouldn't if the other dude pulled his out? I'm right here though. And they arguing, you know what I'm saying? He ain't trust none of that shit.
I'm not even gonna sit here and say that's not even a possibility because all these black kids getting hung. The teacher just got fired for that shit, bringing up a black doll. Uh, Another black teacher, not black teacher, a white teacher was harassing an autistic black kid. There's a lot of this shit just going on, and it's getting bad, like bad. Like all you gotta do is scroll, and you just stop on some shit, and it's absolutely fucking disgusting, man. Yeah.
And they could have, and another thing, they could have, if it played out, because the problem, like I said, the problem wasn't with the owner, it was between them two guys, two black dudes. Let's just say they going back and forth, and they probably can de-escalate they own, you know what I'm saying? They own differences, you know what I'm saying?